Welcome back to Techvisa. This is episode number 6. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already for all the latest Australian immigration updates. So we've got a special guest on the mic today. In light of the department's most recent announcements, where they'll be taking a more active approach towards a global talent program, we thought what better way to celebrate this news than by sitting down with a global talent success story. Not only is our guest one of the leading innovators in the blockchain gaming space, but he's the VP and game director at the billion-dollar gaming company Immutable. With accolades as such, you can only imagine why he was welcomed to the Global Talent Program with open arms. Clay, welcome.
So glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So Clay, you arrived in Australia in 2019 on a 482 visa. You were granted permanent residency through the Global Talent Program in 2020. I thought this would be a great opportunity to sit down, check in, see how you're going, how you're settling in. Is Australia home?
Australia is most definitely home. That wasn't necessarily the original plan. As you might know from those of you who know your visas, we were planning on spending essentially 3 years here initially as a family and then heading back. But after the first year here, there was a unanimous decision in the household that we were staying and thus going for permanent residency, which we're so happy to have. But yeah, Australia is definitely home now.
As someone with your skill set, your knowledge, your expertise, you would have had a number of different countries around the world where you could have relocated the family to. You briefly touched on it, but why Australia? Maybe from a professional and a personal standpoint?
Yeah, a lot of it came down to where I was at in my career. So I did have the opportunity after launching Magic the Gathering Arena, go to a lot of different places. What I really was looking for more than anything was culture fit. And it comes down to a very simple premise. I was looking for a company I could join where essentially we had an agreement that everyone treats everyone with respect. Doesn't matter if you're the CEO talking to the Uber Eats delivery person or one of the interns, you treat them with respect. And that's a requirement, not optional. And it seems easy, it seems a no-brainer, but it's actually very difficult to find in the corporate world. And what it means is you have to make hard calls. If somebody has my accolades but can't stick to it, there's no place there for them if they can't treat others with respect. And when I joined Immutable, it was about 15 people, tiny little startup, but I got that agreement with the founders that that was going to be an important part of our culture. And I do think it played a key part in our kind of explosive growth from that small 15-person team to near 300 now, and obviously, like $1 billion company valuation. Pretty meteoric rise from our humble beginnings to where we're at today.
So you've worked on some incredible projects. What's your biggest professional achievement to date?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. Like if you go just by revenue, Magic the Gathering Arena, most definitely. That was back in Seattle. It was just the coast. When I look at the part that I played, though, like with Immutable here in Australia, with what we've been able to do, innovating in a brand new space, the problems we've solved, and even the challenges that we get to tackle today, the people that I get to work with here to tackle that, because we are very much a global company now, and we've had people come to Australia from the furthest reaches, essentially to join us in our mission. I'm really proud of the culture we've built here, and by extension, what that culture has been able to fix, when it comes to addressing challenges in an emerging space where it is changing very rapidly. The tech is shockingly new, and the challenge is kind of unending. But getting to come into work each day with people that you really respect and trust is a gift all its own.
So you work for one of the most innovative companies in the world. What exciting projects are you currently working on that we could look forward to seeing in the future?
How much time do we have when it comes to exciting projects? And for those of you who don't know anything about the blockchain space, it is emerging tech, and when tech is emerging, there are a lot of challenges that you face. There's a lot of friction, and some of the way that I describe the challenge we have before us, I would harken back to like a decade ago, when you saw ads on TV, actually watch TV, not streaming services, you'd often, hear ads or read them in newspapers or magazines, like, is your business in the cloud? Like, are you in the cloud? Are you in the cloud today? Like, what are you doing in the cloud? And today, everyone is in the cloud, and nobody cares that it's the cloud anymore because it just does what you want. And I think the most exciting challenge right now in the blockchain space is it really is still quite difficult to get into. It's very scary. There's a lot of hard steps, and it takes technical know-how to do it. And beyond all of the exciting, gaming projects, beyond the platform, I have a very core mission of getting to the point where nobody necessarily cares that they are using blockchain technology. All they know is it's solving problems they have and it just works for them. Now, we probably have a few years left to get to that point, but we're taking really important steps along the way to getting that friction and challenge out of it so you can just use the technology. So long term, really excited by that. Short term, here at Immutable, we are focused on gaming, and this year, Guild of Guardians, one of the projects I'm working very closely on, a mobile RPG we're looking to launch, which will be really exciting to sort of tackle some of the challenges of blockchain gaming in the mobile space beyond just PC, where our current game, Gods Unchained, is. And we've got a number of partner projects. Metalcore is kind of like a massive squad-based FPS shooter with gigantic mechs. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. Really excited to see that go live. Another project called Shardbound, a sort of tactical card game, Valor, and then Infinite Victory, which is a NBA basketball, more arcadey style game. And since I joined to today, what you're seeing is a lot more just mainstream friendly, really polished games entering into the mix, which sets us up for a lot more growth. And to tie it all back, more need for people to come join us here in Sydney to help realize that dream of taking the tech from where it's at today to just making a seamless part of everyday life.
To wrap things up, Clay, I didn't personally process your visa application here at Techvisa, but I'm curious to know, how was your experience going through the GTI application process and also working with our team here at Techvisa?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about scary processes. Getting into crypto, one of them, moving from one side of the planet to the other, also a scary process. And working with Sam over at the Techvisa team and a few others, they really helped demystify a lot of just what we needed to do and helped do all of the tricky legwork of filling out the forms and making sure that all the information was correct. So at the end of the day, it made it pretty easy for us to get the visa so that we could focus on all of the other logistics of moving, again, from one side of the globe to the other. It made it so much easier than I was expecting. Like I knew it was going to be some work, but it went super, super smoothly. And beyond the initial application and going for permanent residency, at a time when we had to do everything remote because COVID lockdowns and just the challenges therein, Techvisa was really set up well to handle all of those communications, through email and video chats and the like. It just made it super easy.
Music to our ears. Thanks for the kind words, Clay.